Yeah, here we go. Here we are indeed watching the start of the game. So yeah, at the start, I just pushed the ball up the field. My opponent is going to launch a bit of a counter offensive. Now here I'm going to try to see if I can be able to score. I'm not able to, so but that's fine. I wasn't really expecting to score, so now I see that my opponent has a chance to score, but it's going to be very difficult. But it was a little bit stressful. So here I see that I could potentially score, so I attempt a shot, and I was actually very close. I maybe should have scored there, but it wasn't that easy. I see my opponent has a potential for a goal, but that would be a very crazy goal. But my opponent does indeed attempt it. So here I see that I have a very clear chance at goal. So I'm going to hit a wall shot and going to hope for the best. And I'm just going to launch it. And oh, I'm very close. Very close. I'm a little bit frustrated that I missed that, but it's fine. But now I see that I have a clear chance, and here I have to score because it's a very easy goal. I just have to hit it at the wall at the right angle, and so I just line it up and I just score. So yeah, a nice goal, 1-0. So yeah, now my opponent is going to be quite frustrated because that was obviously not the start he was hoping for. So here I'm going to try to see if I can get that ball in behind his defense. That's my chance, that's my attempt, but I'm not able to do it. But I do get the ball into an area that isn't actually that dangerous. It's actually quite a safe area. But my opponent does try that. But here I get an open shot. So here I just have to line it up right. My opponent has given me an open shot. And I just have to line it up. And I am able to get the ball into the net. So yeah. 2-0, a very good start for me. Now my opponent is going to be even more frustrated. So my opponent is going to go for a bit of a power start. So here I'm just going to move that ball a little bit up towards the wall. I'm just going to play some defense right now because I realize that my opponent is going to play quite aggressive. So I decide to play quite defensive because I just don't. Of course, I don't want to concede a goal. I want to try to keep to get a clean sheet in this game. That's what I always try for every single game, is to try to get a clean sheet, and that's what I would advise everyone to do when they play Soccer Stars, is to try to keep a clean sheet, because that means that you will have a lot less. It will increase self-confidence when you're playing the game if you're able to get many clean sheets. Many games with clean sheets. That's very good. It's very good practice to get into the habit of getting always clean sheets. So yeah, I'm just gonna play up against the wall here. I realize that my opponent is going to be playing very aggressive game, so I realize that I just have to try to blockade my goal. So I always try to put one of my players right like in front of my goal post, to try to obviously make sure that he's not going to be able to get the ball in front of my goal, because if your opponent is able to get the ball in front of your goal, you can be in a lot of trouble, and sometimes you can actually just be be screwed, because you don't have any way to be able to get the ball away from your goal. If your opponent is able to get the ball directly in front of your goal, so that's always something that is very important to remember. So here I'm just gonna play some defense again. Now I see that my opponent is going to be very aggressive. He's going to be trying to pushing away my players. So here you see me, trying to push his players towards my goal, because that's always very nice. Because in terms of a counter offensive, it's always very important that you're able to push away your opponent's players. So here I'm just gonna play up against the wall and keep myself in front of my goal. Keep one player in front of my goal. That's always very important. So Harry's actually starting to stress me a little bit. I realize that I'm in quite a bad situation and that he has two players that he can use to get rid of my players to open up my goal. So I understand that I'm in quite a bad situation here, and he's playing quite well. This My opponent is playing quite well here in this situation. So, but I realized that I can try to push up against the net here. So if I can just, I understand that I have to just get involved because he's playing very well, and I realize that he's going to just continue to get rid of my players, and it gets tiresome to have to defend like this because you're always using a lot of, you know, you have to think every single shot. You have to time and think correctly. So here I'm just gonna realize I'm just gonna start pushing the ball up against the wall, up against the top wall, because I need to do another strategy. I need to try to be more aggressive in my defense, and because he's always just pushing me away, so I need to try to counter that by pushing more up against the wall and being more aggressive in my defense. So here I realized that I'm debating whether or not I should do that, but I instead do more of a defensive safety shot. And at this point, I realized that I have an advantage in the counter attack. So I realized that if I can just get that ball up towards his goal, and here I almost score. That wasn't even my strategy. So here he scores an own goal, and that was quite an embarrassing own goal actually. So, but I win the game, and it was a very good game, and I am indeed very, very happy. And it was a good game of Soccer Stars that I played quite well. I played defensive, and my opponent made a mistake that cost him the game. So a good game, and everything was very nice.